Hello everybody, welcome to the stream. Good afternoon and good evening to you. And I hope you guys are all doing well. Tawin, Esme, Patrick, Bandit, welcome guys. And thanks for being here.
The Void, a force of infinite hunger. Its whispers have broken the will of dragons and lured even the Titan's own children into madness. Sages and scholars fear the Void, but we understand a truth that they do not. That the Void is a power to be harnessed, to be bent by a will strong enough to command it. The Void has shaped us, changed us, but you will become its master. Wield the shadows as a weapon to save our world and defend the Alliance.
Oh, that's right. I guess we don't have to do any quests here. For some reason, I always think that there's like a little bit of questing here, but I think we just leave right away. I think the only questing you do here now is if you come to get the Void Elf Heritage Armor. It's kind of a bummer. The music here is really good. Adam, Alex, Johnny, good afternoon, guys, and welcome. You can change the flight point map in Leatrix for Kata. Oh yeah, so that you can actually zoom in, so you can actually see like what flight point you're clicking on in which zone. That's good to know. Alright, I guess we're just going through the portal. Boop. they changed what this looks like. The other day it was just yellow text with a timer, and now it's white text with a bar that fills or unfills. So as Affliction, we get instant cast Corruption, which is going to make it a lot easier for us to tag stuff. Alex, you did the 3 zones and you got bored. Can we not progress the story? To which I say, what story? What story? No, I don't know if there's going to be any more story before the expansion comes out. I haven't heard anything about like a prologue or anything like that. The only story we got was the little Dark Heart storyline where Illyria was trying to like hunt down Xalatath. Pretty sure that was considered the epilogue of Dragonflight. I don't think we're getting a prologue. So yeah, we probably won't see any more story. Yeah, we'll get the campaign when the game comes out on the 22nd. They don't, apparently we're still not doing prologue stories. The fact that they had an epilogue story, the fact that they even had the Dark Heart storyline, like it was like 5 quests. Let's not call it a storyline. The fact that they even had the Dark Heart quest, like that was a big change from prior expansions. Usually we don't see any kind of epilogue story or anything like that. We got there just in time. Lael, good afternoon, man. Welcome to the stream. We have exactly 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, if we're really lucky, right now in 2 weeks, we'll be playing War Within. It's getting very close. It's at that point where, for me, like, it's close enough that it's really hard to get invested in doing anything else. Like, it's hard to get invested in spending my time elsewhere. Just because I know in 2 weeks, like, all of my time is going to be spent in War Within for a while. But yeah, it would, like, more pre-expansion content would be nice. It would be nice if they could find a way to, like, make their pre-patch stuff a little bit more robust. I kind of thought that maybe they would open up different zones, like maybe we would get like 3 new memory zones every week. And so at least there would be more zones to jump between. But I don't know if they're going to do that or not. It'd be cool if they did. If they do, I hope they pick like prettier zones for us to hang out in. Top 3 worst classes to level. Druid. And Druid. Yeah. That's it. Although if you're leveling in the pre-patch event, there really is no worst class to level because it happens really fast. You can basically level anything. Yeah, like for doing this, yeah, Moonfire would be OP. Similar to how we're using Corruption, you could use Moonfire to run around and tag everything. It's worth it to tag everything you can because the mobs give double the amount of experience that a normal mob would give you, so... Definitely worth it to have something with an instant cast. If you don't have an instant cast ability, you're just you're gonna feel left behind. We got some kind of robes. We got a chest with some level 70 pants. That's nice. That's one item we don't have to buy later. We have 10 minutes until the next zone opens up. So we can hang out here for a bit. We're a little bit too early to this. Yeah, you can get max level in like 3 hours, 4 hours, depending on like how you're playing, depending on the zones. Like Northrend is kind of a slog. Northrend you level like half as fast as the other two zones. And then like I said, you really want to have a class that can tag stuff. I think we're going to level pretty quickly on this one just because of Corruption, although like coming here right now, this is not optimal. You really don't want to spend like all this time on these mini-bosses because they have a lot of HP. Ideally, I would be doing something else. I'd arrive right about now. That would be a lot more optimal. Guitar Junkie, good afternoon, man. Welcome to the stream. See, like, that timing was perfect. That's the kind of timing you really want to have. You just want to show up there right as it's about to be over. Maybe if we're lucky, we'll get over to the Gazrilla boss by the time that one's about to fall over. That's not bad. He's not quite half HP. Am I having an awesome day? Well, I mean, I get to sit here and play World of Warcraft, so I can't complain too much. Once we go to the next zone, we will do our talent points. I actually have a build already pulled up this time. so I won't have to fumble around looking for that. Yeah, we've had some pretty mild weather here. I think like the most of the heat for us is going to be gone now. Our high right now is around like 78, 80 degrees for like the next 10 days. So I'm pretty confident that like we might see 1 or 2 more like hot days, but we're not going to get like a lot of hot days. Typically like July is our hottest month, and then by August things start to cool off a bit. Before I know it, it'll be autumn. The only bad thing is, like, as a leveling character, it's sometimes really, really hard to kill stuff. You can't let yourself get into any kind of situation where you're fighting on your own. Because fighting on your own will lead to death. Like, right now, I'm in a really bad situation. I have no other... Here we go, here's some other players. Yeah, like, I really can't afford to be on my own anywhere. They didn't do a good job of, like, scaling this so that low-level characters could actually survive. There we go. We lived. We should probably stop by... Okay, nope. I think we could probably just move on to the next zone. We got 2 minutes until the zone changes. Let's go back, we'll turn the quest in, we'll take a look at our talents, and then we will get moving on. Alright, so talent points. Let's see, we're gonna take this, we're gonna take Demon Skin. Over here, we're taking Unstable Affliction. We're taking Writhe and Agony, we're taking Seed of Corruption. We're gonna grab Absolute Corruption. Alright, that's good for now. So that gives us another well, no, this is not instant cast. This is 1.4 second cast. We have Seed of Corruption embeds a demon seed in the enemy that will explode, dealing shadow damage and applying corruption to them. So if there's a big pack of mobs and we can get off Seed of Corruption, that would be really nice. That'll spread corruption to everybody. Other than that, we're just gonna keep spamming our instant cast at people. We have Agony, which is also an instant cast. Okay, there we go. This one's about to end, and then we're... Oops, that was not what we wanted. And then we're probably going to Dragonblight, unfortunately. Dragonblight being like my least favorite of the 3 zones. I really hope that they think about like introducing more zones to this. They could put 3 more zones in every week. We could end with 9 different zones to cycle through. Seems a little bugged. Yeah, I feel like we're going here next. Dragonblight, yep. There we go. I really hate it when the raid's running through here. I wish they wouldn't let people form raid groups for this, because when they're in a raid group, nobody else can tag the enemies. And that really sucks for, like, solo players. They either need to not let people do raid groups, or they need to change it so that anybody can still tag the enemies. See, this is the problem with this area, is everything is, like, so spread out. Everything is, like, so spread out. You end up flying between, like, the same 3 that are close to Wyrmrest Temple, because everything else is very far away. I don't... Oh, there we go. I was going to say, I don't have my torch. It's hard to progress without the torch. John, we never get that kind of weather here. When it rains here in the summer, it cools down while it rains, and then as soon as the rain leaves and the sun comes out, it turns all of the moisture into humidity. And then it's like, it's even worse than it was before it rained. Yeah, we don't get to enjoy any, like, coolness after rain comes. This was a bad choice. There we go. Oh, that's it. That's 100%. Now we go try not to die to the Lich King. Undead Adam, Dave, welcome guys. Good afternoon, good evening to you both. I'm not really sure, like, what is the new... What is this new UI? What is this showing me? I'm not really sure what... I guess... Oh, maybe someone's playing a game of Hearthstone. Yeah, I don't... Maybe this is a toy. I don't really know what's happening here. Alright, let's get a little bit of distance. I could probably summon a demon. Do you guys think that'd be a good idea? Like, I could probably have a demon out, since we're a warlock. We have a little bit of ability lag on the Lich King today. The past couple days prior to today, the lag has been really good. There hasn't really been a lot of lag, and now there's a substantial amount of lag. Not really a lot we're going to be able to do, except maybe we can keep our curses going and try to keep ourselves alive. Let me see if I have my raid settings turned on or not. Raid and Battleground, yeah, let's turn that on. Let's bump a few things down. Okay. Maybe that'll help. Oh, he died really, really fast, though. Typically, he's up for a long time, but he died really quick. I wonder if they adjusted some of the HP on these bosses. Alright, why am I in combat? That's not good. Why am I in combat? Oh yeah, John, I'm sure if you don't spend your bronze, you're not going to keep it. Yeah, once the event ends, your ability to spend that currency is going to go away, for sure. I should probably go spend a little bit of my bronze. I have bronze. Not a lot, but I should probably get on my failed Death Knight and at least spend some of it, I guess. Maybe there's some cool transmogs I could pick up. We don't have a bar for this. I'm not sure how I'm supposed to know, like, if we're close to the event being done if we don't have a progress bar. Apparently today the events are a little bit buggy. A little bit buggier than they have been. Yeah, I wonder if we should leave here or if we should keep trying to progress the event. I feel like this is bugged out. I feel like this is not going to complete. I don't know, maybe I'm just being impatient, but there's no progress bar. If there's no progress bar, I don't know like what metric it's going to use to determine if it's going to complete the event. Yeah, it's still, even after a reload, we still don't have one. Yeah, I don't know, this doesn't seem good. Everyone's here, there's still people here, but... yeah, this doesn't seem good. Let's leave. Let's go over here. And that one seems completely effed. Oh, there we go. That was perfect timing. Yeah, we got him. William, yeah, I was sick recently, but yeah, I'm good now. It took a few days, but I'm basically back to normal. Like, we could fly back over to this one. Notice that it's still here. I feel like this thing is, like, permanently bugged out. Okay, now we have a progress bar. 64%. Yeah, it must have got stuck for a while. Yeah, I'm gonna like Affliction more than Demonology. Demonology had too many long casts. Everything was a long cast. Hand of Gul'dan, Shadow Bolt, even Dreadstalkers was a cast. Like, I feel like everything was a cast. It's hard to imagine, like, playing the game the way it is today and having to do all those hard casts in, like, Mythic Plus or, like, a situation like that. I feel like they lowered the HP of a lot of the mini-bosses. Things seem to, maybe even the bosses too, like the Lich King died really, really fast, like incredibly fast compared to my experience the last couple of days. These guys are also dying like relatively quickly, and I feel like they must have adjusted something. Ooh, I really don't want to die here. Let's just focus on draining life. We really don't want to die. There we go. Yeah, the build-up seems really slow, and like in modern WoW, slow always has a tendency to feel bad. It seems like it could be cool. Like, I kind of like the fantasy of like building up the army of imps and stuff, but it, like, the gameplay of it just seems too slow. Wow, we just got absolutely fucking destroyed. The scaling is so bad. Like, the scaling just doesn't work for a solo player. Everything just, like, you get hit 3 times and you're dead. Also, like, Blizzard, please fucking fix this. Every other zone, we have flying mounts when we're a spirit. Please give us a flying mount when we're a spirit. Please fucking God, do it. Like, there's no reason for this. There is no reason that I have to run back to my corpse on foot through Dragonblight. Please fix it. How is it not already fixed? How is it that I don't have a flying mount? Like, give me a break. Jesus. Both the other zones, we got flying mounts when we die. Except for the biggest zone, where the graveyards are the most spread out, we get nothing. It's idiotic. It's just a idiotic oversight. Like, I'm basically terrified to tag anything. Because if I tag anything here, I'm most likely gonna get killed. Especially when there's only like one other player around. Are there players anywhere else? I don't really... I see a couple players over this way. This guy's about to go down. Yeah, like, there's not really a lot I can do here. Some of these guys I might be able to tag. Now that they have a little bit of damage put on them. Oh, nope, we fucked up again. This event is fucked. This one is completely busted. Northrend is so bad. Like this is by far the worst place to do this event. Compared to the other two zones, it's like you level half as quickly. All the events are painful. I die here about 1,000,000 times every time we have to come here. I just constantly fucking die. They really need to do something to fix it. The first thing they could do is just give us a flying mount so that when we do die, it's not a big deal. We just fly back to our body and we keep playing the game. But yeah, the way they have the scaling, they've just made it so that as a leveling character, you don't really want to do anything. Like, as a character that's leveling up, you're not like level 70, like, you just want to kind of be nearby. And if you're not around other players, then you're wasting your time, because all that's going to happen is you're going to get killed. He's definitely dying a lot faster than previous days. No one ever seems to come down here and do this one. Everyone seems to avoid this one, so I'm gonna also avoid it. I also feel like I'm getting more, like, blue items today than I have in previous days. I'm assuming at some point I get some kind of spender. I mean, I have soul shards, and we're not using them. So I'm assuming that we will eventually. Here we go. 1 soul shard. Your damaging periodic effects from your spells erupt on all targets. Do I want them to erupt? If they erupt, do they go away? I don't know if I want them to erupt. Let's test it out. Oh, they don't go away. Oh, okay. Oh, that's cool. It doesn't burn them. It just causes, like, more damage. I'll be 30 by the end of the stream. I'll probably be like level 40 or 50. Yeah, we're an hour in. And like this zone sucks. Like once we're in the other 2 zones, we're gonna level up a lot faster. I died like 3 times. Like just the 3 times that I died probably cost me about 1.5 levels of experience. Possibly more if you factor in like the time it took me to get back to my corpse. This is by far the worst zone. It has a lot of problems. And yeah, we'll level faster in Dustwall the Marsh and Searing Gorge. We just gotta get through this one. It's possible to do 10 to 70 in about 3 hours. Depending on like how much you can tag, depending on the zones that you're in. Alright, my wife brought me some food a couple minutes ago, so I'm gonna turn my camera off and I'm gonna eat this really fast. I'm gonna keep flying around and keep trying to participate a little bit. But yeah, I'm gonna get this food in me. I'll see you guys on the flip side. Yeah, I feel like people get sick of Northrend, and I feel like they don't farm here for as long as they farm in the other zones. Like, literally, one of the guides I watched said that you should leave. Like, it said, like, when Northrend is up, do the boss once, and then go take a break. And I feel like a lot of people do that, because Northrend, this zone is absolutely awful. As you can see, like, I've died on this event, like, how many times? Yeah, like, nobody's doing any of these right now. And it's really bad. I feel like people do it a couple times, then they go do something else until the hour runs out. I wonder if we're gonna get the Lich King out again before the hour is up. We have 9 minutes to move it 17%. Each bubble moves it about 5%. So yeah, we might not get the Lich King again. We'll see. It's gonna be close. Yeah, it's almost not worth doing Northrend at all. I would definitely advise, like, if you're doing this event for yourself, like, do Northrend once a day to get the daily quest done. And then besides that, anytime Northrend is up, just spend that hour doing something else. You could even spend that hour doing, like, time walking dungeons. Or, like, basically anything else. Like, look at this. It's like, this is stalled out. Nobody does this one. I don't, maybe people are up here doing this one. We have 5 minutes to get the boss out. Yeah, so we have to clear at least one more of these. But I do think more and more as the event goes on, like, people opt out of Dragonblight. Dragonblight's just, it's kind of bad compared to the other two, and I don't think people do it. I think a handful of people do it, and I think most people peel out and they go do other stuff. And with the scaling, you can't progress it on your own. Like, if I try to progress any of this stuff on my own, I'm just gonna get killed. So all I can really do is hang out. Here we go. Now some other players are showing up. Alright, there we go. We did manage to spawn him one more time. So after this, I think we'll be going to Searing Gorge, and the levels will come much faster in the Searing Gorge. We could probably take a second here to do our talents before we are put in combat. Let's see. We're going to go 2 points into Kindled Malice. Malefic Rupture damage increased by 8%. Corruption damage increased by 20%. That's huge. Dark Virtuosity, Shadow Bolt, and Drain Soul. We're not taking this one, so that must be like a single target thing. We're going to take Nightfall. Corruption damage has a chance to cause your next Shadow Bolt or Drain Soul to deal 25% increased damage. Volatile Agony. Refreshing Agony with 10 or less seconds remaining deals shadow damage and to enemies within 10 yards. And then we're taking Phantom Singularity. Place a Singularity above the target. Consumes the life of all enemies within 15 yards, dealing damage over 15 seconds, healing you. Oh, that's a nice one. We'll finish that up after the fight. Alright, so let's hit the portal. And let's get out of here. It would have been really, really smart of me to grab this quest. So I guess we'll get that next time. That's not good. I kind of wish it would just pop up the quest, like when you come into the zone, if you don't have the daily quest, it should pop it up automatically. Because I just like straight up forgot to grab it. That's good. That's gonna hold us back. Not that it matters. We already have 19,000 memories. I have 20,000 on my paladin that I don't need. 29,056. There we go. You only need 50,000 if you want to buy like a full set of gear at level 70, you need 50,000. We're not going to need the full set because we already have a pair of pants waiting for us. So like already we have enough currency to buy the entire set of level 480 gear. I'm pretty sure we're over here next. Yep, there we go. Alright, let's make sure we grab this quest at least. Christopher, are you talking about the Evoker class? If so, yes, I liked the Evoker a lot. I didn't like being a dragon. But as far as the class and how the buttons felt and how the spell effects looked and felt, the Evoker class is awesome. It would definitely be a contender for my main if I didn't have to be a dragon person. I don't really want to be a dragon person. If they made it so that I could stay in my visage form, then I could probably main it. But then again, I also found out that like in Mythics, people don't want DPS evokers. They want you to be the support spec. They don't want devastation evokers. They want like whatever the support spec is, and I don't have any interest in playing the support spec. So I guess that's out. Like I guess I probably will never really get to play an evoker because A, I'm a dragon, and B, people are very picky about what they will and will not invite to Mythic groups. But yeah, but Devastation, it's a really awesome and fun spec. Do you have to pay for flying in retail anymore? No, it's not a stupid question. No, you don't have to. You just get it. Right at level 10, you get dragon riding now. So like basically, there's never a point in time in modern WoW when you have to use a ground mount. You right away at level 10, you can dragon ride. And the reason for that change is because the new player experience takes you from Exile's Reach into the Dragon Isles at level 10. So like, you know, the Dragon Isles were made for you to be able to fly around, so they had to change it so you get dragon riding at level 10. Nope, you don't have to pay for it, you don't have to train it. I guess like, maybe if you're a brand new player and you don't have any mounts, maybe you'd have to buy a mount. But I feel like they'd probably just give you a mount. Like, I don't know, I feel like they give you a mount when you do Exile's Reach and you come into your starting city. I feel like you do a quest and they give you a mount for free if you don't have one. I wonder if we can double dip on these two events. There's the XP for that one. Nope, no, we can't double dip because now Ragnaros is up. Maybe you have to do the quest in the Dragon Isles to open the mount. I'm not sure about that. Like, if it may be, but if so, it's something you do right away because they don't want you in the Dragon Isles without being able to fly. But yeah, maybe you have to do the little like training. I'm not sure. You'd probably have to have like a completely fresh account to know like how it works. It's gonna work differently for anybody who already has a flying mount. I wish I understood what builds up my soul shards. I don't really seem to have a builder. I almost seem to get soul shards randomly. So like right there I got one. Is this refilling over time? Because yeah, I don't have a builder, I don't think. Being in combat and using skills, that's so vague. So basically just over time I will build up soul shards. I don't really know how I feel about that. If I have a spender, it makes sense to me that I should have a builder. They seem to come back like really slowly. And I don't have like a timer or any way of knowing when they come back. So I can't really plan ahead. Yeah, that's a little bit weird feeling. Ritual of Doom, okay. Well, this has been a little bit of a weird one. There's nobody to fight, nobody to kill, no objectives up. Yeah, I'm not really sure how we're supposed to progress. We're stuck at 74%. Nobody seems to know what to do. Because they didn't spawn enough enemies in for us to progress. There we go, now we got some respawn, 76%. See, this is wasting time. When this kind of thing happens, it's not good. This is what really slows us down. Here we go, we got respawns finally. Monica, good afternoon, good evening to you. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for stopping by. Alright, talent time. Let's see. I don't see like any other players. So where did everybody go? There's no one. This is 0%. This one is over. Yeah, I'm so weird. Sometimes I just don't know where people are at. You really have to be wherever the people are. Like, yeah, there's not enough people here to progress this one. Yeah, aesthetically I don't really like Affliction, but for this event, for leveling like this, it's like one of the best specs. Because this is all about like getting tags and being on the move. What I really didn't like was Demonology and having a bunch of hard casts that took like 2 seconds each. That felt really bad. So I thought like maybe the opposite end of the spectrum, maybe throwing up instant cast would feel a little bit better than just doing a bunch of hard casts. Destruction is also like a bunch of hard casts. And it just feels really slow for modern WoW. To be sitting there just casting. There's still nobody here doing this. I really wonder like where people are at. Here we go, here's one other player. Maybe we stick with them. Patrick, have a good rest of your day, man. And thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. We'll see you next time. You thought I was not a fan of pet classes? I'm not a fan of pet classes. It doesn't mean I won't play a pet class. The reality of it is, it takes 4 hours to level up a class. So like, even if I'm not a huge fan of pet classes, I can still experiment with classes that I normally wouldn't play. Because it takes basically 0 time to level something up. That's all. Like, it's not a big surprise. I'm bored. We have 2 weeks until War Within comes out. 2 weeks is not really enough time for me to like really sink into anything else. There is not another version of the game right now that exists that I have really any hype for or any goals. So like, why am I leveling up all these classes? Why am I playing classes that historically I don't like? Because it only takes 4 hours to do it, and because I don't really have anything else I'd like to do before War Within comes out. Yeah, I wish there was like other shit that was like really hype or like super exciting. I wish there was like story stuff to do leading up to the expansion. Like, if wishes were fishes, then I'd probably drown. Yeah, so like this gives me the ability to level up classes specs that I normally wouldn't bother with in a world where it takes 20 hours to level them up. I wouldn't do it. But yeah, when it takes 4 hours, then sure, I'll check out basically. I'll probably come back and I'll probably finish my hunter too. We have a level 40 something hunter, and I'll probably get her capped out as well. Maybe I'll try a survival hunter. I don't know. Because yeah, I'm just like, I'm in a holding pattern waiting for the expansion to drop, like a lot of people are. And right now there's really not a lot else to do besides level up classes. Yeah, it also builds my familiarity with specs that I don't know anything about. It's nice as a person who plays a lot of WoW to understand like the basics of a lot of the specs and know how they function, to know the pros and cons of those specs. It's just something to have fun with while I kill time. That's all. Yep, Amy swim today at 4:30. Got it. Why am I not interested in PvP or random battlegrounds? Why would I be? Like, if I'm gonna do PvP, I'm gonna wait for the season to start so I can get rating. Like, I don't have interest in doing stuff that isn't like some kind of progression. It's the same reason why I'm not just doing a lot of mythics right now. I have a lot of fun doing mythics. But if we're not in a season, if I don't feel like I'm working towards a seasonal goal, it's not as interesting to me. The same thing with battlegrounds. Like, when we're in season 1, and I can do solo rated battlegrounds, then I plan to do solo rated battlegrounds. I'm not a PvPer, but I'm excited for solo rated battlegrounds and I'd like to try it out. And when that's a possibility, when we're in the season and we're gaining rating, then I'll do it. But it's not something I'm gonna do like outside of a season. It's the same thing with doing a lot of mythics. Like right now, there's not really a point to do a lot of mythics. Like season 4 is over, season 1 starts on September 10th, so just kind of waiting till then. That's it. Ultimately, what I'll do is I'll enjoy the game the way that I want to enjoy the game, and everybody else in the world is free to enjoy the game the way they enjoy the game and to do the content they want to do. And that's all it boils down to. There's really not anything else to say. I will do the content that I'm enjoying when I'm enjoying it. Right now what I'm doing is I'm leveling up different specs, trying out different stuff. I'd really love to apply my changes. You can't do that while an ability's on cooldown. Okay, I had an ability on cooldown and it wouldn't let me. Okay, makes sense. We'll apply the changes. Apparently, like, the build I was following was not the mythic build, so I have a couple of things I have to change. I must have been following, like, the single target or the raid build. Because now that I'm actually looking at the mythic build, it's a little bit different than what I had going on. How goes the grind? The grind's going. 14 more days of grind, and then we can actually play War Within. And then I guess then the grind just continues. How do you find a wife that will be obsessed with WoW like you are? Just stay single. If that's the one thing you care about, just don't have a wife. Yeah, that would be my advice. Because if you care about that, you're better off just staying single until and unless you find it. As far as how you do that, I have no idea. Dating advice is outside of my skill set. So I'll give you anti-dating advice. Just stay single. Does staying single equal failing at life? Only if you're a moron. Yeah. If I think like the only way to feel that way is if you're just kind of brain dead. No, I don't think it means failing at life. If you think it means failing at life, then you're probably going to fail at life. It's probably unavoidable. If you're the kind of person that thinks there's a single metric which determines whether or not you have failed at life, then let me tell you, you have already failed. Your family's forcing you to marry? Let me explain this to you as a human being. Nobody can fucking force you to marry. Not a single person in this world can force you to do that. Doesn't matter what your background is, doesn't matter what your religion is, doesn't matter what your beliefs are. You don't want to do something, you just don't fucking do it. It's really super simple. And the first thing you have to do is to stop giving a shit about what other people want you to do. Because if you're the kind of person who's sitting there like, oh man, I'm not going to be happy in life with somebody unless they share the love of this thing or that thing as much as I do, you're not going to be happy. And what you're doing is like, if you put yourself in that position where like you get into a relationship with somebody, you're doing them a horrible disservice. Really, I could care less what you do to yourself at that point. You can be miserable, but what you're also doing is you're going to make someone else's life miserable. So, and you can blame it on other people. You can say, well, my family pressured me into it. They made me do it. You can blame shit on other people, but ultimately, like how you spend your life and the people you spend your life with and what you subject those other people to, that's your choice. That's completely on you. Yep. That's the reality of it. It's easy to think that people force us into things or that we don't have a choice in what we do, but you do. You have a choice. Yeah, you have a choice in who you involve in your life and who you don't. The great thing is, if you're honest with people about what you'll probably never get married. Just tell everybody you meet, hey, I care about this video game basically more than anything else. You tell somebody that and you're honest with them, then no one's going to want to marry you anyway. It's a easiest way to avoid getting married. Be completely honest about the fact that you don't want to be married. And then there ain't nobody in their right mind's going to marry you. Problem solved. Problem solved. Just explain that you're completely obsessed with a video game and it's a problem solves itself. But again, I'm not really supposed to give relationship advice. It's not something that I'm supposed to do. I got really lucky, and my wife is okay with me wasting my life playing a video game. So I can't. I'm not really supposed to give relationship advice. Yeah, and the other thing is, if you already have those thoughts, like if you have those thoughts, like I want to avoid the responsibility, I don't want to deal with this, you should never get married. Yeah, like if that's your first thoughts when you think about a relationship is how you just want to avoid it, then like like I said, I don't even really care like what happens to you. You owe it to the other people in the world to avoid relationships with other people. Like you just, as a human being, you owe it to other people to not be in relationships with them. Because it's like, not only are you going to be miserable, but you run the risk of making someone else's life also completely miserable. And that's not okay. The only reason to be in a relationship is if that's what you want. Being in a relationship is not just something that you do to maintain like the social status quo. It's not something you do to meet the expectations of other people or your family. Those are not reasons to be in a relationship. The only reason to be in a relationship is because you want to be. And if you don't want to be, then engaging in one is like a pretty awful thing to do to the other person. There you go. Do what Leah said. If you love a video game, you meet somebody in the video game. That's really your best bet. If your only metric for a successful relationship, or if an important metric for a successful relationship is that they share the love of a video game or the love of a hobby, then your only chance is to meet someone while you're doing that hobby. Whatever the fuck the hobby is. Let's say you're a bro and all you want to do is go to the gym and get ripped. Meet somebody at the gym. Let's say you're a gamer, all you want to do is game. Meet somebody in a video game. Like, if that's your metric for like success in a relationship is going to be whether or not a person shares like one thing in common with you, then you better meet them doing that one thing. And you better hope that that one thing is actually important enough to both of you to ignore a bunch of other shit, because there's going to be other things that you don't relate at all. But if that's your metric, like I just need someone who plays WoW with me, then you gotta meet someone who's playing WoW with you. Meet someone by doing the activity you would like for them to do with you for the rest of your life. If that's your only real metric for whether or not it's gonna be successful. And then if it's like that, where like if you're straight up obsessed with something, whether, like I said, whether it's a game, whether it's like just a hobby, like be completely transparent with how fucking obsessed you are. Don't sugarcoat it. Make it seem worse than it is so the person really knows what they're getting into. You know, like don't be like, oh yeah, you know, I like to game sometimes. If you spend 50 hours a week gaming, you blow that up in their minds. Make sure they completely understand what they're getting into. The same thing, you're a person who likes to work out every day and you spend 3.5 hours at the gym. Be straightforward about that shit so that that person knows what they're getting into, because otherwise you're gonna end up being miserable eventually. Yeah, and a lot of people shouldn't be in like people don't need to be in relationships. A lot of people don't need to be in, because you know what a relationship leads to? A relationship leads to kids a lot of the times. And let me tell you, that's probably the last thing you want. If you're sitting in this chat wondering like about relationships, the last thing you need is to end up with a kid. So I would say like keep your gear tucked away And like, don't engage, because yeah, the world's got enough kids, and the world has enough unhappy couples. You definitely don't need to be a statistic. Life is complicated enough trying to take care of yourself. If you got to 30 and you're not really like square with your life and you don't really know like exactly what you want, then what you need to do is just kind of avoid entanglements with other people. Like, have friends and stuff, always have friends, but like avoid close entanglements with people. It's not going to do you or them any favors. A lot of people nowadays, people are late bloomers. Like, people don't mature as early as they used to in life, because like for a lot of people, life is like, not for everybody, but for a lot of people, they can get through life without reaching any kind of emotional maturity, and because of that, a lot of people don't actually mature until much later in life than they used to. And so what happens is they make a lot of choices when they're expected to, like in their 20s and in their early 30s. They're making a lot of like permanent life choices, like getting married, having kids. But the problem is, like, they're not actually like emotionally mature yet in any aspect of the world. And so yeah, like, the longer you can wait before making any of those choices, the better off you'll probably be in this day and age. Like, I didn't have my kid until I was 30. And if I'd have had a kid when I was 20, my entire life would have been fucked. Like, that's the reality of it. I had my kid when I was 30. If I'd have had a kid when I was 20, the way my parents did, my entire life would have been fucking ruined. I never would have done a lot of the things that I did in life that got me where I am. You know, I'd probably still be working at like a fucking Blockbuster Video or a 7-Eleven or something, trying just to make ends meet. I know there are no Blockbuster Videos anymore. It's fine. Oh, we're past the hour. We gotta get out of here. I'm like looking at the map. I'm like, why does it just say lingering memories? It's like, because the hour is up. The hour is up and we have to go. Nev, thanks so much for the $10 super chat, man. You haven't played since Warlords, actively rated with the best since vanilla. Is it too late to get back in? No, it's not. It's actually like a really good time to get back in. Even if you don't have a guild right now, there's so much content in WoW for single players these days. Like, what I do is I do Mythic Plus, which is like really hard 5-man dungeons, good rewards. You got seasonal rating, so you're accumulating rating throughout the season, trying to get your rating up. And I have a good time with it, even though like I don't really raid in modern WoW. But no, it's not too late to get back in. And if you played in Warlords, like the game will still probably be like recognizable to you, you know, as opposed to like somebody who didn't play since Wrath or Burning Crusade. Like the game will still be recognizable to you. So yeah, we're about to have a new expansion, man. It's a good time to get back into things. Absolutely. Leah, that does sound stressful. That's cool though. See, me and school didn't work. Me and school never really worked. That's awesome. I imagine it's probably really stressful to go back to school like in your 30s. If you've been like out of academia for a while, it's probably just like generally it's probably just like a little bit of anxiety about it. I couldn't do it, yeah. I tried to go to college and it didn't work the same way that like school, like high school didn't work for me, college didn't work for me. I just hated it. I always liked the idea of it. Like I kind of liked the idea of school, but like the actual experience of what it was like, I always just kind of detested. Tim, good afternoon, man. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for being here. Tim, thanks for the $5 super. I really appreciate that, man. Thank you. I can't get over how much better Dustswallow and the Burning Steppes feel or the Searing Gorge compared to the Northrend Zone. It's literally like a night and day difference between like how close the events are to each other, how easy the events are to progress. The bosses seem better tuned in these zones than in Dragonblight. I really hope they make some changes to the Dragonblight stuff. They need to have a couple more events. The events should be closer together. And I think they need to look at like retuning them a little bit. Because it's such a huge difference, these two zones compared to Dragonblight. You can level twice as fast in these zones as you can in Dragonblight. They just need to look at it and make some changes. They've been pretty active about like changing stuff, so I'm kind of surprised that it's still in such a bad state. Yeah, don't believe everything YouTube tells you. The reality of it is, I mean, AI will probably take over most jobs eventually. That's a reality. If you're worried about AI, find something that requires human interaction. Like, there are certain things that AI will not ever be able to do. But there's a lot of things that AI will probably be able to do. A lot of things that AI can do, they'll probably always need some people doing them. The thing is that they won't need as many people doing as many things. the reality is like the way corporations work is if a job can be automated, the job is going to get automated. Because the purpose of a corporation is to make the shareholders money. And the fewer employees you have to pay, the more money goes to the shareholders. So like corporations will always be looking to cut jobs and replace human jobs with AI. That's going to be a real thing that happens. But it's never going to replace every job. It will reduce the amount of certain jobs. But if you're worried about that kind of thing, you just have to find something that requires human to human interaction. Which is not always good. A lot of us don't really want to interact with humans that much. Which makes it hard. I could be AI for all you know. Yeah, I'm not AI. I feel like this is probably something that AI is not going to take over. You're probably never going to want to watch an AI stream your favorite game. Hell, I mean, maybe some people will. But I feel like this is one thing where AI is probably not going to take over. When I worked at corporate, I was a training developer and I was a classroom facilitator. And while I feel like AI could probably take over some of the writing that I did, like I feel like even in the field I used to be in, I don't think AI could take over completely. It could definitely have helped me. I wish I had ChatGPT back when I did training development, because then like a lot of the fluff writing I had to do, I could have had ChatGPT do my fluff writing, and that could have let me focus on like the cooler aspects of learning development. But I don't even think that AI is going to take that over completely. And it wouldn't have taken over the classroom facilitation that I did. And so like even in my past life, I don't feel like I was in a situation where AI was going to take my job. But I do feel like AI can help out a lot of fields and maybe reduce the amount of headcount that people need. Yeah, can we program AI? Exactly. Can we program AI to do house chores? Right. Can we just make robots that do the physical work and stop having AI do like intellectual work? Eventually, manual jobs might be all that's left. Like, yeah, who's going to take out the garbage? Not an AI. A person is still going to have to do that. Yeah, they do have robots that will bring your food to the table at some restaurants now. Yeah, they'll bring. The good thing is like you don't have to tip the robot, you know. So like, yeah, I feel like robots and AI taking jobs like that is fine. You know what would make it really okay? It's this little thing that I'm not really supposed to talk about called universal basic income. Universal basic income. If you have a society that has that, then people care a lot less about AI taking menial grunt work jobs. Nobody wants to do a menial grunt work job, but for a lot of people, it's the only job that they are capable of doing. And so, like, that's where the worry comes in of like AI taking those jobs. But if you got universal basic income, then it's not really a big deal. The hospital you work for has food robots. Food robots are awesome. Yeah, like I don't need a person to bring me my food. Just let a robot do it. Why shouldn't people take advice from YouTube? Because YouTube becomes, like, a lot of people, like, YouTube and social media becomes an echo chamber for shit you already believe. And it happens really fast. So, like, firstly, like, nobody should take advice from only one source. Like, you should never have only one source for advice. And you should always be a person that thinks critically about any advice that you do receive from any corner. But the big problem with things like YouTube and social media is that it becomes an echo chamber for shit that you already think is true. So if you already are a person that thinks the world is miserable and everything's out to get you and nothing's ever going to go your way, then you're just going to be showing content that reinforces that negative belief. And so it's absolutely critical that you don't look to people like on the internet, on YouTube, on social media, and take actual life advice from those sources. Because for the most part, like, the algorithm is really good at, like, figuring out what you already think and what you already respond to, and then it just keeps showing you more of the same. So if you're looking at content that explains how, like, all the jobs you like are going to be taken over by AI, or how, like going to school is pointless, like, it's just going to start echoing the shit back at you. And then you're going to be caught in this, like, negative feedback loop that you never get out of. And then you're going to blame, like, other things as opposed to, like, your own initiative and your own, like, thoroughness of thought. Basically, I would say, like, the more confused you are in life and the less direction you feel like you have, the less you should be on social media. Like, if you're a person who's, like, you're not really sure what you're supposed to be doing with your life, or you feel kind of down about shit, you can't really come up with, like, a plan, like, people like that, like, you should stay off social media, like, as much as possible, because being on social media, if you're already kind of troubled and you kind of don't like how things are, you don't feel like your place in the world is a very good one, like, being on social media and shit is going to make that 100 times worse. Your best bet is to turn off your screens and go for a walk every day, and, like, give your own brain time to process your own life. Like, the problem is, like, people try to, like, engage with other things as a way to process their own life. And you can't do that. You can't engage with something else and process your own thoughts. The only way to process your own thoughts in your own life is to spend time alone with your own thoughts and alone with your own life. And if you're constantly on social media or YouTube, like, whether you're seeking valuation of your ideas or refutation of your ideas, like, that's not letting you process shit. It's not letting you process shit, and it's not letting you, like, it's not letting you come up with a plan of actual action. Like, engaging with content becomes something that is there in lieu of actually taking action and doing a thing. Where should you be instead? I don't know, like, go to a library, read some books, take a walk in the wilderness. Yeah, like, and it's okay, like, engage with actual hobbies, you know, engage with hobbies. Like, going on YouTube and doom scrolling is not a hobby. Going on social media and doom scrolling is not a hobby. It's just some shit people do to fill their time up, And while you're doing all that, you're being exposed to like lots of different ideas. A lot of those ideas are mirroring your own ideas because you're stuck in that echo chamber that I talked about. And instead, what you really want to do is like turn all that shit off and just spend time with your own thoughts, like kind of like absorbing your own life. And you can do that in hobbies. You can do it by getting away. Like, it's not like you have to turn off all screens and go live like a hermit. But it does mean like 100% less doom scrolling. Like, I don't go on social media. Like, I barely pick up my phone unless I'm, like, reading from my Kindle app. And, like, even as a person that doesn't really engage with social media, like, life is already hard enough as it is. Like, I can't imagine, like, then spending 4 hours a day, like, on my phone scrolling through social media, like, how much worse my life would be. When, like, it's already hard to be happy. It's already hard to, like, to feel at ease with things. And if I were doom scrolling for 3 or 4 hours a day, it would probably be impossible for me to have like any kind of mental stability or balance in like any part of my day. Wisdom doesn't come from shit that you're exposed to. When it comes to making a choice about what's going to make you happy, that can only come from inside of you. The only place that knowledge can come from as far as like what's going to make me happy in this life, that can only come from inside of you. It's never going to come from somewhere else. You're never going to be watching a YouTube video or scrolling on your phone and realize that's it. If I do this and I live this way, I will be happy. Like, that's never gonna happen. It's never gonna happen. Like, try to think of wisdom as like self-understanding. You're never gonna understand yourself by spending all of your time looking outward. And that's what most people do. Most people spend the majority of their time, the majority of their day, engaging with things that make them look outward. So they're never looking inward, they're always looking outward, and then they're always evaluating their life by the shit they see outside of them. And if you're gonna spend all your time evaluating your life by the shit you see that's outside of you, you're never going to be happy, because you're never actually looking inward at what might make you happy. That's like, that's as clear as I can articulate it. You're always gonna feel empty just doing what someone else tells you you should do. You're not gonna find a lot of personal fulfillment in directly listening to another individual, because they're telling you how they live their life. Ultimately, they're saying, like, what they're really saying is like, this is what made me happy. This is what worked for me. What works for one person and makes one person happy is not necessarily gonna make you happy. What it is gonna do, it's gonna make you feel fucking inadequate. Because you're looking at this person who's like super successful, you know, they've achieved in some way, living the life that they want to live, and all you're going to do is compare yourself to that person, and over time, that's going to make you even more and more and more miserable than if you just weren't aware of that person's existence in the first place. Like, that's where the problem comes in. Yeah, exactly. Like, social media and YouTube, it should be for entertainment. You really shouldn't be looking for like life advice or a strategy on how to live. Like, those things, you're not going to find those things on YouTube or on social media in a way that ever makes you happy in the long run. Because ultimately, it's just supposed to be for entertainment. The more you're on social media, the more you're going to be exposed to like this this image of other people that they put forward, where like obviously like most people put forward an image where like they're really happy, they've succeeded in life, they follow these easy steps to success, they are happy because they wake up at 5 a.m. every morning to start their day, and because of that they're super successful. And then you start doing that stuff and it's not going to work for you, and then you're going to be miserable. You're going to be like, I'm waking up at 5 a.m. Why am I still a miserable prick? Why am I not happy? It's because you're a different person. And then like the reality of it is like everybody struggles, and everybody has struggles, and that's just part of being alive. Even when you see somebody who looks like they've got it all figured out and they're like super successful and super happy, they got struggles. Everybody does. Alright, let's try not to get melted. We really don't want to get melted here. I'm going to stand back and just drain life myself back to full health. Try to make sure the boss isn't pointed at me like they are right now. And nowadays, I think humans are just kind of screwed, because now humans have social media talking in their ear from when they're like 8 years old. It's like it's a lot. I feel like people are just kind of screwed overall, because like people don't have that time just like with themselves and like just with their own thoughts as they grow up, as they mature, that they're constantly being fed, you know, stuff from other sources now. Whereas like when I was young, we didn't have social media. Like we barely had YouTube when I was like in my teens and 20s. Like we didn't have all this like garbage coming at us from all these different avenues. We had the people that we knew, we had the people in our family, and then we had our own thoughts. And that was it. Beyond that, we had the books we read and whatever. But we didn't have a place, we didn't have a screen to look at for 6 hours a day that would basically just show us how completely fucking inadequate that we are compared to everybody else on the planet, you know, because we're not following these like 6 easy steps to success or whatever. But yeah, I feel like people now are kind of screwed. I mean, the reality of it is that everything in life is uncertain. You know, you could get hit by a bus tomorrow and die. Like, there's not really a reason to worry about, like, oh, what if I put effort into something today, but the future invalidates my efforts? The reality of it is, ultimately, the future is gonna invalidate all your efforts because you're not gonna live forever. So, like, really, as a human being, the only thing you can do is to kind of pursue some kind of happiness within the society that you're stuck inhabiting, because nothing is permanent, and eventually time is going to render every single thing you do meaningless. And so, you know, you can be a person that does things because you enjoy it, or you can be a person that doesn't do anything because of the concept that it might not be worth it one day. Like, you can really, you get to choose, like, what kind of person you get to be. It's super simple to, like, be lulled into inaction through the idea that, like, any action is gonna eventually be invalidated. It's really easy just to say, oh, fuck it, just don't do anything then, when you look at things that way. This is one of the events that I'm convinced that this is like a waste of time. This one is a slow one. 90%. We need like a couple more kills here. Let's grab this crystal, see if we can get this turned in. There we go. We got a neck piece here. We got pants upgrades. Okay. We did not make it to that one in time, unfortunately. We were close. We didn't get there in time to get the XP for it. It's rough sometimes when you lose every other player. Like, we do good with sticking with people, and then eventually there comes a time in every zone when I look around and I have no idea where people are at. And this is not what we want. This is a good way for us to get dead. Let's turn, maybe we turn Taunt back on, and maybe our Voidwalker can pick this up and we can get out of here. Yeah, let's get out of here. Let's head towards King Gordok and just hope that we don't die. There we go. I think we're still probably stuck in combat, unfortunately. Still stuck in combat. The Nixia is about to come up. We are stuck in combat for the rest of eternity. We may never be out of combat again. I guess we're running on foot over to Onyxia. There we go. I like that my Voidwalker got transmogged into a human. So yeah, now my Voidwalker is a human pirate. I didn't realize he could get transmogged like that. That's cool. I'm assuming it probably could if it can do the Voidwalker, it can probably do Hunter Pets. Yeah, I have a human pirate running around up there. That's great. I realize we haven't spent talent points in like 15 or 20 levels. It feels like it's been a long time since I spent talent points. Maybe we should have a look at that. It's kind of hard to spend talent points when you're really concerned with getting from one event to the next as quick as possible. I feel like at the hour mark is really like the only convenient time to spend talents. Because yeah, like look, I got all kinds of talents to spend. Lots and lots of talents to spend, and then also read them. Reading them is the part that like takes time. Let's grab Haunts. Ghostly Soul haunts the target. That's another ability we have to press. Okay. We're gonna grab Shadow Embrace. Shadow Bolt applies Shadow Embrace, increasing your damage dealt. Okay, that's good. We're skipping that. We are skipping this. I don't know. I guess, where am I going now? Nope, we're not going there. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look at the talents later because I messed something up with my. I was trying to follow this mythic build, and I messed something up somewhere, so it's not quite right. I will just have to look at that later. Yeah, talents are overrated. They are. When you're leveling this fast, talents are overrated. I'm gonna have to actually like sit down with it and like read the talents and see what's going on. I messed up like somewhere in my choices. I made an error. So I'm no longer able to follow the build. So I'm gonna have to figure out exactly what I did wrong. Yeah, mainly I'm playing this because it's easier to hit things. Yeah, that was the main. I really didn't like Demonology having to do like just hard casting. So I thought like typically I don't like working with a bunch of instant cast spells with no spell animations, but for this event it's like it's the perfect thing. Just to be able to run around and like slap everything with corruption like makes a lot of sense. And then also, like, just gameplay-wise, it makes sense. You know, the game is always... There's always a lot of movement, whether you're doing raids or Mythic Plus. You're always having to move. So, it makes sense for there to be a spec that, like, can stay on the move. I feel like you got two instant cast abilities. You have an instant cast Shadow Bolt that can proc. There's some casting, like, you have to cast Unstable Affliction. You have to cast Malefic Rapture. Sometimes it feels like you have to like spam Shadow Bolts. So I still feel like there is like a little bit of hard casting going on with this build, but like for tagging stuff, it's like OP for tagging stuff. I'm sure Balanced Druid with Moonfire would feel the same way. You just run around and Moonfire everything in sight. Yeah, I guess I'm just using this as a way to experiment with all the different specs. I'm obviously like pretty bored with like everything else going on in WoW right now. Nothing is really like super appealing. This at least is like it's relaxing. Now that I have a handle on it, like it's pretty much like I don't want to say it's brainless. It's kind of brainless. Yeah, it's kind of brainless. But it's easy just to run around and tag stuff and level up the spec, and you don't learn the spec like super in depth, but you get a little taste of the spec. I think what I'm gonna do is like I'm gonna try them out at least in time walkings, or like if time walking runs out, then we'll do normal heroics. So yeah, like I guess I would have liked to have done that with the Evoker, but what I realized with the Evoker was like no matter how much I liked it, apparently people just don't like Devastation Evokers, and I don't really want to be a dragon person anyway. But with this one, we'll take it into some time walking or heroics or whatever we can do. I don't know if we'll be able to take it into mythics. Maybe we will. We'll have a full set of 480. Yeah, I'm gonna start doing that. We'll get them capped out, and then we'll do we'll do some 5-mans with it just to kind of learn it a little bit better. Cause yeah, I just like we have 2 weeks until War Within comes out. I don't have any other goals in like any other versions of the game that I really want to work towards in the next 2 weeks. That's the problem. Nothing else really exciting is going on, and I'm not really hyped for anything else except waiting for War Within. I'm having the same problem I had in the Demonology lock, though. It's like my pet dies all the time. I don't really know like what pet I should use, but it doesn't really seem to matter. Whatever pet I use, like, dies pretty consistently. Which is like, that seems different than the hunter pet. I don't remember my hunter pet dying like very often at all. I try to have taunt off so that he doesn't taunt. This guy doesn't have a taunt, so maybe that'll be a little bit better. All right, let's see if I can figure this out. No, I can't. Damn it. I was really hoping I could just stand here out of combat, but no, that's not going to happen for me. Well, that's a huge bummer. It's gonna be another one of those times when, like, if you die during these fights, you don't get any experience. Let's see if they fixed it. No, they didn't fix it. If you just happen to go down at the end of the boss fight, that's it for you. We were really close though. If I would have known how close we were, I might have been able to drop out of my body and get back in. Alright, anyway, guys, that's all the time that I have for today. I do have to be going. My child has swim class at 4:30. So I got a jet. I'm gonna get myself back to the portal. We hit level 58. It took us 3 hours. So, you know, like almost level 60, 3 hours. That's pretty good. Yeah, it was annoying. We'll finish this character up tomorrow. Probably take us like a half hour to get them to 70, and then we'll do some 5-mans. We'll start off with some time walking. Maybe we'll try a couple like Mythic 2 keys and see how we feel about it. And after we tried it out, we're gonna be on to the next. So I think maybe we'll get a hunter leveled up. We'll probably just get everything leveled up. We got 2 weeks, and what I'll do is I'll try to experiment with them a little bit in 5-mans. So that we can get a feel for like how they perform and how they feel in like a potential Mythic Plus type of situation. So yeah, that's the plan, guys. Thank you for hanging out with me today. I truly do appreciate it. Hope you guys have a good rest of your afternoon or evening, and we will see you back here again sometime very soon. Bye for now.